Welcome back to JB Reviews. I have a 2021 Lexus LX570 and a 2023 Lexus LX600. Naturally aspirated V8 versus twin-turboed V6. Let's go ahead and drive the 570 first, and then we're going to drive the LX600 right afterwards. We're going to see how they perform for fuel economy and for acceleration. Who do you think is going to win? Oh, by the way, we're about 4,800 feet above sea level, so you probably know how this is going to end now. One thing I will mention is when you do drive a LX570 with the V8, the steering is a lot heavier. I'm in the eco mode, and I'm going to do the test all in eco mode. Even if I put it in sport mode, it probably won't really make a difference on the performance. I'm just being honest with you guys. But let's go ahead and talk about the performance of this 5.7 liter V8, and then I'll show you guys the 0 to 60. Lexus version of the 5.7 liter is going to put out 383 horsepower, and that comes on around 5,600 RPMs and 403 pound-feet of torque. Let's see how it sprints to 60. All right, here we go. That wasn't bad. When you're this high above sea level, it does affect your performance, and especially naturally aspirated engines too, more so than turbocharged. But I will say, whether you get the 570 or the 600, this having the air suspension, it does ride pretty good. Like, that's one thing I've always loved about these SUVs. Even with the Land Cruiser without the air suspension that we own in 2013, I mean, it rode really well for a large SUV. Now, with this 5.7 liter, they don't do like cylinder deactivation. I don't even believe this thing has stop-start on it too. But I actually like that it doesn't have the cylinder deactivation, because I feel like those things are kind of unreliable. And the steering feel, like I said, is tight, and you want that tighter steering feel at these higher speeds. Like, I'm going 70 miles an hour. I'm going to get up to about 70. I'm going to get up to 80 miles an hour. So at about 80 miles an hour, I'm going to set the cruise control. Oh yeah. This doesn't have like lane centering or anything like that either, but it does have the radar cruise control, so it does slow you down. I will actually disable those things, because I have found that those things will speed you up, slow you down, speed you up, slow you down, which gets you worse fuel economy. So I always turn off those systems when possible. And actually, I might have spoke to you soon. This might have the lane centering. Let me see. Actually, it probably has lane keep assist. Let me see if it turns the steering wheel. I think it just alerts you. It doesn't steer the steering wheel. Let me see if I do it again. Let's see. Or maybe it does turn it. Maybe if it's too abruptly, it won't do it. Let me try it one more time. Just a little bit. They were scaring people around me. No, it's just an alert. It just tells you that you're going out of your lane, that's all. Not a big deal though, but this is still, you know, pretty advanced for a 2021. The only thing it doesn't have that I really would like for it to is Apple CarPlay. That's the only thing that is missing. It's the only thing that's missing. So when you're getting back up to speed, getting on the interstate, I do like how smooth this truck is. Like, even with the transmission, like the shifts are really, really, really smooth. The only thing I will say is, I feel like this transmission takes a little bit longer to shift from what I've, you know, seen in the past from other SUVs. But that's sometimes a good thing, you know? I mean, even the mirrors, really big mirror, so you can see around really well. And the overall fit and finish of this is really nice. It is kind of busy down below, so I think if you are looking to buy one of these used, obviously you're gonna probably want to learn where all these buttons are. Like, even like right there, like this This is confusing to me. This is a lot of buttons, and I just don't really like how they laid this out. This is a, what do you call this? A sound level meter, basically. Decibel reader, whatever you want to call it. Wow. About 63, 64 by the window. It's saying 66, 67 out back. 61, 62. That is really good. Like, when I do my truck reviews, typically these are like about right here, about 66, 67, 68 sometimes. By the window, like closer to 68, 69, and out back like 63, 64. So this is definitely quieter. You can tell it's quieter. The steering wheel is actually really straight, and this thing has 56,000 miles on it. You know, well, let me see. Make sure I'm telling you that. Yeah, it has 56,922 miles. Right? That ain't bad. This thing feels solid. There's no rattles. There's no creaks. And they build these on a 25-year lifespan, I believe. I know the Land Cruisers they did at this point, they do build these on a 25-year lifespan. But there's nothing really negative to say. This thing feels comfortable. I have a lot of space up front. Let's go ahead and get back so I can show you guys where we're getting off at, and then we'll drive the LX600. We just pulled back in, and we're gonna just stop right next to these IS sedans. So we did 11.6 miles. 16.3 MPGs, and by the way, I had to do the test twice because I forgot to reset the trip A. So if it looks a little different in the video, I literally just went around 2 times. So there it is, 16.2. That is not bad for a 5.7 liter V8. Let's see how the twin turbo V6 does. It's something about a V8. I'm just gonna be honest with you guys. Something about a V8. Now I wanna fair warn you, this 0 to 60 is going to be a little bit nicer in this twin turbo though. So you might miss the sound, but you're not going to hate this performance. So let's see how it does. Let's talk about the power, and then we will do that sprint to 60. The 3.4 liter twin turbo V6 in the LX600 is going to have 409 horsepower, 479 pound-feet of torque, 10-speed transmission. Let's see how it puts the power down. Oh wow. Now I think if we were at sea level, maybe the V8 would have done a little bit better, but that forced induction engine has that supplemental power from those turbochargers, so hey, ain't nothing to do about that. But 0 to 60 in 6.65 seconds, that's strong. That is really good. Wow. That was compared to, yeah, 9.4. Wow. I thought it was 8 something. I thought it was 8 seconds. But no, I guess it was 9.59 seconds. No, I'm sorry, that's not it. I knew that wasn't right. Here it is, I'm sorry. It was 8.66 seconds. I was looking at something else, sorry. 8.66 seconds, guys. It's just no comparison. And that's why I don't really fight anymore about the twin turbo V6s, guys. It's just hard to, because they're better. And we haven't even gone over the fuel economy yet, so. But this feels more like a sports car. I think that they did such a great job tuning the LX570, but when you jump inside of this, you can just tell that they made this more sportier. Like, it feels tight, just like that LX. Like the steering, I feel like it doesn't feel like an old Toyota anymore. It feels like something newer. And I think that's what most people are looking for now. And I think Lexus, Toyota, they all know that. One thing that I do love about this SUV is the brake feel. Like, sometimes SUVs in this category have touchy brakes. It's not the case for this. It has the best brake feel. It's very quiet. As I said earlier, that 570 has almost 60,000 miles on it. It's only 3 years old, but there's no creaks, rattles, none of that stuff. The materials feel good. Everything in this one's laid out way better, and this one has Apple CarPlay. You can't beat that. And something to consider too, the way they set up the interior, or I should say the cockpit, it feels like more of a driver's car. Everything just seems to be in the right spot compared to the 570, and you can't hate on that gauge cluster too. I guess even though I do like those analog gauges, this is just so much nicer. Now, I want to say I was running just under 2,000 RPMs at about 75 miles an hour. I'll show that to you guys at some point, but when we get to the midpoint, I'll show you guys pretty much where we are, and then we'll make our way back to the dealership. I'm off the interstate. I did get some footage of me at the midpoint with the 5.7. I'll show you guys here. So this is where I think I showed it to you at, right here. So I'm at 19.1 compared to, I think, what was it, 15.7? You guys should see it here. So again, you're down 2 cylinders, and when those turbochargers aren't spooling, I mean, you're not really using as much fuel. But I will say, if you love the way the LX feels under wide open throttle, you're gonna drink way more fuel compared to that V8, I promise you. But really quickly, I wanna show you guys something. So I'm gonna give it about 30% throttle, watch this. So it dropped probably 2 gears, but do you guys see how close the steps were when it dropped to 2 gears? That's the difference between, you know, more gears and less gears. So if it had like a 6-speed transmission, you would have seen it probably wound out to about 3,000 RPMs or more with the same throttle response. And that's the beauty of the 10-speed. It's very smooth, the shifts are precise, and it keeps you in the broadband a lot better if you are towing a trailer or going up a steep grade. But the lane keep assist does work a lot better. It actually will steer the steering wheel, like you can probably see it right here. Yep, it steered me back in. And this does have lane centering, so you have to keep your hands on the steering wheel, but it will basically steer you while you're driving down the highway. Really cool. And man, this is just the way to go, unfortunately, if you want fuel economy. But if you don't care about fuel economy, man, that 5.7 with the V8, man, that's the way to go too. .62, 63 in that ballpark. I'm going 75 miles an hour. 64, 65. Wow, 57, 58 out back. This is quieter, and I can tell it's quieter too. It could be the tires. Those on the LX570 were the Yokohama Geolanders, and these are Dunlop tires. So that could be a factor. These are 22s versus the 21-inch wheels. Just pull back in. This is, yeah, that's pretty bad. 21.2. Wow. You know, yeah, it's hard to fight that. I mean, that's just way better. Way better. Believe it or not, the LX570 has gotten better for fuel mileage. Our Toyota Land Cruiser, we didn't have anything done to it. We were averaging about 13 MPG. Now, we had the 6-speed transmission, so adding those 2 gears probably helped with the fuel economy. Maybe. It just depends on those final gears. But nevertheless, that twin-turbo V6 cleaned up today. I mean, performance-wise, MPG-wise, I think that you can't go wrong. But I will say, if you want reliability, the LX570 is the way to go. That naturally aspirated V8 has gone hundreds of thousands of miles. And even though the twin-turbo V6 is not new for the LX, it's been around since, what, 2017, 2018, in that ballpark, I feel as though the engine's going to be proven because it's a Toyota. And we'll have to just wait and see how that works out. But be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet. The LX570 is available for sale. That had a MSRP brand new at 104 grand, and they have it just under 70,000.